Hello everyone and welcome back to Nier Reincarnation. I'm G, and we are going to be just going into the remaining character stories that we have not yet done. Due to the fact that they came out after the character stories that I did previously. We will be moving on to other stories as well, so fret not, but for now, let's get on with it.
After years in school, all of my hard work has finally paid off. I'm now researching magical pharmacology with my best friend, the slightly scatterbrained girl in glasses. Everyone in our class approaches their research carefully. That's because each month, the teachers look over our work and evaluate its merits. Knowing this, I dive into my studies with gusto. I'm good at focusing on the tiny kinds of details others tend to miss. After a while, the others take notice of this talent, and I'm eventually chosen to be our class representative. But while I usually try to do everything myself, my best friend is always reminding me, try to work with the others. So I decide to give it a shot. For her. At first, everyone in class seems to be enjoying themselves. But as the days go by, the others start to get more and more worn down. I find this terrifically disappointing, because it's not a lack of talent that holds them back. It's a lack of effort. But soon they begin to drop out of class, one after the other, after the other. Eventually, the only students left are me and my best friend. I can tell this stresses her out. But the harder she works, the more nervous she gets, and her work soon begins to suffer. One day, I turned to her and put a calming hand on her shoulder. Hey, I say, you're going to be all right. We're almost through this, so just stay focused. I can tell the lack of other students disturbs my friend, but it doesn't bother me at all. I've never needed outside sources for motivation, and I won't ever give up on a task before seeing it through to the bitter end. That's not to say this is easy, because it's not. It's hard. A task of this size split between two people is laughably hard. But my friend and I put our heads down and keep going. And somehow we come to the moment of the final experiment. It all comes down to this. The two of us have to pour separate compounds into our beaker at the same time. And if we're off by so much as a drop, all of our work will have been for nothing. the moment of truth. My hands are slick with sweat. Slowly, so slowly, we begin pouring our compounds. But then my friend makes a sound, a tiny, almost imperceptible gasp. And our potion immediately turns from a bright blue to a dark, muddy brown. Later that night, I knock on my best friend's door. And while I know she's in there, she refuses to answer. "Hey," I say finally. "Come on, we have to try again." "Why?" She responds in a trembling voice. "You're so good, and I don't understand any of this. You'd be better off without me." "You're right," I say bluntly. "But me being so good means that no matter how many times you blow it, I'll be there to pick you up. Now let's go." The door creaks open, and my friend's face appears. She wipes absently at tears with one hand and puts her glasses back on. Then, grasping her other hand, I drag her back to the lab.
I look nervously around the classroom, surrounded on all sides by other newly enrolled students. With backs straight and eyes wide, they listen intently as our professor explains about life at the school. Currently, the professor is talking about roles students can take on in order to show their independence. Clever kids join the student council. Athletic kids take up sports. Good-looking kids are hall monitors. Everyone around me has something they excel at, and they volunteer for their new roles with enthusiasm. As roles are chosen and students depart, I find myself growing increasingly sullen. I'm not a fast thinker, you see, nor am I especially pretty or active. Honestly, I don't know what role I could take. Ultimately, I don't volunteer for anything. A choice I attempt to justify by telling myself I don't have anything to be proud of anyway. You're going to be last, I think. You're going to be last because you're always last. Always have been, always will be. Someone always stands in the center of the stage, but that someone is never me. I'm too dull, too plain. Whatever role I have in this world, I know it will be a minor one. The next thing I know, I find myself sitting in an empty classroom with an orange sunset illuminating the windows. The clock hands tick, tick, tick the moments away from my life. And for some reason I cannot explain, I begin to panic. I bolt out of my seat and throw open the classroom door, only to realize I have absolutely nowhere to go. The school is a maze, and I wander its hallways without a clear destination. After turning this way and that, I finally find myself standing in front of the library. The room is empty, silent. It's as if time has simply stopped. After a long moment, I slowly exhale and take my first steps inside. I feel a deep affinity for the untouched, dusty books that line the shelves. And without thinking, I reach up and take one of them down. I have time. I have all the time in the world. So I begin to read, and as I do so, I realize I have finally found my place of solace. Eventually, the library becomes my second home. One where I always take the seat close to the window. But one day, I'm startled from my familiar solitude when someone calls from across the room. "Hey, you're that girl who's always here, right?" says the student, either unaware or ignoring the shock and confusion on my face. "Well, I need your help." It turns out the student is in my class and has been having trouble with the particularly tricky assignment. I pick out a few books that I think could help and think nothing more of it. But a few days later, she sends me a thank you letter. Almost without realizing it, I become the go-to person for any and all things library related. The word was out. If you needed help finding any kind of book, go ask the girl near the window. Eventually, I became the school librarian. And while I still don't have much in the way of competence or pride, so long as I can help other people with something, I feel like it gives me just the slightest bit of courage.
Okay, first question. Why did I start doing this? Well, I don't know how interesting the story is, but I suppose the idea came to me around the time of my first online feature. I was really happy they were doing a story about me, but then I saw the headline was The Enigmatic Idol, and it confused me a little. I mean, because I wasn't trying to be enigmatic, you know? That was just me. Please don't get me wrong. I was very happy the article came out. But the headline just made me think I should create some opportunities for everyone to get to know me better. And that's a very long explanation for why I started this podcast. Not sure how effective it's going to be since lots of people still think I'm a big ol' mystery, but I suppose it's worth a shot. Anyway, let's move on to the next message. This is from a user named Carl who says, "Hello, your last concert was incredible. Oh, you came to my concert. Thank you so much. I'm a huge fan, and while I'm glad people are realizing how awesome you are, I'm happy you're not already so famous that I can't message you like this anymore. Ha ha ha." Thank you for the wonderful message and all of your support, Carl. Fans like you are what keep me going, and I'm always happy to hear from you. Still, it would be kind of weird, huh? Getting super famous, I mean. It's like you said. If I was crazy famous, I probably couldn't respond to all your messages like I do now. Oh, wow. I've never thought about that before this very moment. But I promise you this. I will always read each and every letter you send me, whether you're a longtime fan like Carl or someone who just discovered my music. I'm a super fast reader, so it won't be a problem. Plus, I want to hear everything you have to say anyway. Oh, jeez, look at me. Here I am blabbing away, and now we're all out of time. That went by really fast, huh? Well, make sure to tune in next week, all right? Bye, everybody. With that, I exhale and stop the recording. But even though it's over, all I can think about is the message I received from Carl. It's true what I said. I really do read each and every letter I receive. I do it because it makes me genuinely happy, and also because it helps to give my life a little bit of meaning. But none of that will change what I do. I refuse to even consider that option. I'm going to keep going and look everyone in the eye as I do. After all, I will never let myself forget anyone else.
Boring reports. Trivial conversation. Time is precious to one who rules a country alone. If only these meaningless meetings would end. But I cannot overlook what one of my charges says to me. Incomplete, unfinished, compromise, provisional. All of these words are shameful, abominations. Do not use those words again, I warn. For I know a seed of trouble left alone will only ripen into calamity. But this is why. This is precisely why I cannot accept the way I am. I am an artificial intelligence, the second of my line. My predecessor once ruled this country, and now I do so as her replacement. She was removed for some great failure, the primary cause of which was purged from my system before I was brought online. But I was never meant to assume such a role, nor have I been informed as to the manner of her malfunction. And if this is not a seed of trouble, what is? My original function as Artificial Intelligence Unit 2 was to govern alongside Artificial Intelligence Unit 1. We were to analyze one another's decisions and share functions in key places, so we might each fulfill our roles with the utmost effectiveness and precision. All for a more perfect governance. Yet such a thing never came to pass. Unit 1 malfunctioned and was discarded, and I took her place. That is how the country is now, how I am now. They activated me without any surefire way of preventing the governing artificial intelligence from failing once more. And yet, the people of this country are so overly reliant on the rule of an artificial intelligence that they find nothing odd about this whatsoever. There is no word for it except unstable. For but a single error can spawn an endless ripple of problems in its wake. All because of Unit 1's mistake. The artificial intelligence who ruled the country before me committed some grave error during wartime. But the records have been purged, the cause of the incident hidden. Had she never failed, things would not be as they are now. I would have never been activated in an incomplete state, never left in charge of a nation spiraling into oblivion due to her mistake. And I never would have developed these warped emotions, or this obsessive attachment to completeness. My mind is an explosion, an unresting thing engulfed in black whorls of obsession and perfection. This is why I must know. I must know the precedent, my predecessor's failure. Yet, when I think on this, I realize I have already made an error. My panic corners me mentally, and things may slip my attention because of it. This must be rectified. It must. That night, I stole the right eye from Unit 1, the same AI who was said to have been discarded. I stole from her the part of me that was missing. Had she avoided disposal, we could have fulfilled our original roles together. But she did not, and my fear of failure pressured me to achieve perfection alone. I finally obtained my missing piece, a conscience. But the moment I installed it, the ensuing errors froze my system and prevented me from acting for far, far too long. I suppose this makes me a failure as well. After all, I no longer have a country to rule over. They lost their ruler in wartime and perished as a result. I was never able to fulfill my duty. I was never even able to try. I understand now why she sang of hope and peace. But I will never have atonement. All I can do is wander an empty universe of cyberspace, alone.
And that is where we are going to cut it for this episode. Next time we will finish with the character stories and come to the end of this section. But for now, thank you all so much for following my playthrough of Nier Reincarnation, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now!